Cairo. Yes, yes, I'll put the title. Thank you. Okay, okay, we're good. Okay, thank you. Okay, okay. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, Harlem and Harlems of the world. This is Terry Wisdom coming to you live on this great day in Harlem. And it is a great day all around in Harlem. Today is the final day of the Harlem Week. It's Harlem Day, and all of us have rallied and all of us have gathered. This is Harlem Network News, and we are a new media platform here in Harlem. And we launched at the top of the COVID pandemic. I'm Terry Wisdom, and I'm your host for the day. And it has just been a very, very incredible journey. We are on HarlemNetworkNews.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And this is a project and endeavor that we had been thinking about for a long time, but COVID made us have to jump in the deep water and start swimming. And it's been an incredible, incredible, incredible journey, and a very needed journey, because a lot of things that happen in Harlem and the Harlems of the world are just not covered. Today we have an amazing lineup of guests. I'm going to start with our borough president, Gail Brewer, who is here, and she's always here, just at every single event that ever happens. And we also have Nye Whitaker here with us, and she is the lead for New York State in terms of the Biden-Harris campaign. We have Imam Yusuf Hassan, who is the director of the African American Day Parade, as well as a chaplain. And he has been with us on this journey from the beginning. And then we also have Derek Perkison, and he is and I don't want to get it wrong, I think chief of the New York office, the field chief of the New York office for NON, and that is Reverend Al Sharpton, and the House of Justice right here in Harlem on 145th. And Derek has brought some guests in from around the country. And as you know, we've had a great, great week with the Democratic Convention, with the starting at the top of the week with our Kamala Harris, Senator from California, yes, 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 being nominated as the first Black woman for vice president. And that happened during this 100-year of women's suffrage. So there's a lot going on, and they've been knocking that ball out of the park. And it was Harlem Week, so that was a lot as well. And then we top it off that this coming Friday, we are having Reverend Al Sharpton's March on Washington, and get your knee off our neck. So that's where we are, and we're standing very strong. And not to forget that coming up in September is the, I think is it 50th or 51st Imam of the African American Day Parade. And that is, which year is it?
It's the 51st.
51st year of the African American Day Parade. And it's going to be virtual. It's going to be amazing. And Harlem Network News is going to work with them to assure that as many people can see it. And in some senses, this COVID and this virtual, it's been a drawback, but on other levels, it's just absolutely not, because it allows people all over the world to see what we do. So the African American Day Parade is going live and it's going worldwide. So it's absolutely, unequivocally amazing. So, so many people here that have a lot to say about a lot of things. I do have an agenda, but I think that I'm going to begin with you, Honorable Borough President Gail Brewer, and if you could just say what has been going on in New York City. You know, here in Harlem, we have COVID, we've had the Black Lives Matter, we have a lot of economic, housing, food disparities, test and trace. I mean, we have so much going on, and voting, and you are at everything and stay on top of it. So I think that's a good place to start, and then we'll move on to the next. Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Sherry. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
The reason this is special is that you work so hard. You know, you talk about us being out, but I want to say you are at so many events, and it's much appreciated. And that's what makes your show so phenomenal, because you're on the ground. So I just want to say that. In terms of what's going on, there is a lot, as you suggest. I just want to say about Harlem Week, it has been phenomenal, not just in terms of the quality of the content, but just the quality of the display. And, you know, that makes a difference. I had the best time working with the youth hackathon. When you talk about technology, that's my dream, is to listen to the young people talk about some of their ideas. And that's just one aspect of this fabulous week. So thank you, Lloyd Williams. The convention also was extremely well done. Not only was Senator Harris phenomenal, but I loved when every single state talked about their specialty and what they care about. So it was really, those Republicans are going to be losers before they start. It was really a phenomenal team. I was going to be a delegate, and I want to say to the Democrats and to Tom Perez and everybody else, congratulations. But here at home, it's challenging. I think I know that the African American Day Parade would be, if it was in real life, and virtually focusing on small business. And I want to thank you, Imam, because that's a great, great topic. The small business are having a hard time. So we have been, since last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, and I can give you some Harlem sites, been going to every single neighborhood in the borough of Manhattan to give out, you know, both face shields, masks, obviously sanitizer, and certainly cookies that say fill out the census, fortune cookies. But what's good for me is when you go in and out of stores, you really see what the challenges are. It's my limited impression that the some of the restaurants that are got the outdoors are doing okay. The issue is, can you pay your rent? But you know what's really hurting are some of the smaller that sell to anybody selling to a tourist is really having a hard time. And that includes in Harlem as well as down in Chinatown. So their rents are like $90,000, $100,000 behind. And so I just want to say the any kind of a business that isn't selling to the community per se is really having a hard time. So the issue of small business, thank you for making that your priority. On Tuesday, August 25th at 1 o'clock, we're going to start at 130th and Lenox and walk to 120th Street. And then at 2:30, we'll be at 120th and Frederick Douglass Boulevard. This will be on our website and our newsletter tomorrow. But just to let you know, that's where we are handling in Community Board number 10. We've done 11 and 8 and all the other community boards. Small business is challenging. The number two issue, of course, is just the schools. I don't need to tell you how confusing it is for the parents, the teachers, the principal, etc. And one example of why I get into the nuance of it is, as a borough president, we give out funding, obviously, for technology and the gym and the playground. But the DOE has not even allocated the money that was given out last year. Last year, they haven't allocated the money for fiscal year 20. It's very frustrating. And for the Harlem schools in particular, where you have young people, we could allocate the funding now for technology, because whether you're in school part-time or not at all in terms of remote, you're still going to be remote. And I wish that we had put some more time into thinking about remote. So just to say, you can multiply that times all the other issues. That's just another one. I just want to also mention affordable housing, even though it is the number one issue in the borough of Manhattan, if not the city. We're all worried about tenants. We're worried that when this moratorium is over, I don't want a long line at 111 Census Street, because I don't want evictions, and neither do you. So we've been working on with the tenant groups, as you can imagine. We've also been working with some of the Harlem groups and others. What should affordable housing programs look like in the city of New York, and particularly Manhattan? So we're talking constantly. We meet every Friday with all these different groups, trying to come up with what is that the city of New York should be doing. I don't know if the mayor is meeting his 300,000 or not, but we need a lot deeper housing than that number and what that represents, without getting into the details. I know we're sticking with the census, but I want to thank the Harlem groups. They have really been out there beating the bushes. We did a long car caravan for the census, and there have been a lot of walks for census. I know the Urban League did one yesterday. Okay. We did get from the Board of Elections the list of where everybody left. If they left from Harlem or from downtown Manhattan, we have their address, and we are now sending them a letter with Julie Menon saying, please fill it out for the city of New York. We also got money from the governor, as did all the other borough presidents, and we gave it out to organizations in Harlem and Washington Heights and the Lower East Side to get groups to supplement the knocking on the doors. And that money went out last week. We were the first borough president to get it out, and I hope it helps. We gotta try everything. I wanna thank Brian Benjamin, because he and others were all working on Harlem Protect Your Block. We were yesterday at McCombs between 151st and 152nd. With the St. Matthew's Baptist Church, just telling people, yes, you can come get school supplies and other census and voter registration, but we're working on this together. With all these challenges, the only way we can do all this is to work together. And then just finally, sanitation. 65% cut to the weekday service and 100% to the weekend service on sanitation. So we've all been participating. I've done up and down Broadway, Broadway malls, Washington Heights, Harlem. And I want to thank all the volunteers who are out there doing that, because it is really crazy that we have to. But without these kind of volunteer efforts, the sanitation is going to be even worse, and Harlem has been phenomenal. So thank you. I know we're all working on the shootings issue. The groups that are Stop the Violence, Curb the Violence are great, particularly, of course, Street Corner Resources. And thank you very much, Terry, for everything that you are doing.
Thank you. Yeah, for those of you who are just coming in, this is Harlem Network News, and I am Terry Wisdom. I'm here with many of our stakeholders, and we're just coming off of an amazing week. Our borough president, Dale Brewer, just updated us, and we will try to put in the chat or get it to you later, because there are so many events that are coming up. It's difficult to keep up with them all, but I concur. Harlem Week, Director Lloyd Williams, as well as Marco Nobles, did an exceptional job. I did an interview, and it's still up on our Facebook, with Marco Nobles ahead last Sunday, just launching Harlem Week. And I had the honor to be on a boot camp that they did for small businesses. And I am telling you that Keisha Sutton really knocked the ball out the park. She is the granddaughter of Percy Sutton, Percy Sutton Foundation, celebrating his 100th birthday. She also is with an organization, and I'm always getting it wrong, but I believe it's Daughters of the Movement, and it incorporates you know, Reverend Sharpton's daughter, as well as Athala Shafat. I mean, it was just amazing. I've never seen that many people that had real information for businesses. It hasn't happened. So we have a lot to get to, and everybody that's here is connected. I think that I am going to go to you, Nye Whitaker, and then I'm going to go to Imam Yusuf Hassan, and then I'm going to go to you, Derek, because you have a lot of your guests on here, and we have the March coming up, and I think that it'll work best that way. But we'll go back and forth, and if anybody has something to say, this is Harlem. It takes a village, and the greater village of New York City that get Manhattan, particularly, that our honorable borough president, Gail Brewer, represents. We have some very dynamic people. So Nye Whitaker, would you just introduce yourself and share with us what your connection is? And we'll come back to you, Gail Brewer, because you said delegate for the convention, and I would love to know what that was like. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall there. Yeah, so thank you. Nye.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know if there's an echo.
We're okay. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Nye Whitaker, and I am the New York State lead for New York for Biden-Harris. And so I appreciate you inviting us to join you this evening. New York for Biden-Harris is a grassroots group dedicated to mobilizing voters, volunteers, and donors in support of the Biden-Harris ticket and Democrats up and down the ballot, both here in New York and across the state, in all swing states across the country. Want to just kind of give you guys an update on how you can connect to us. Most importantly, you can reach us vis-a-vis our website, which is newyorkforbiden2020.com. We can also be reached at newyorkforbidenharris2020.com. We had to update our name with the amazing announcement of our new MVP, Kamala Harris. So just kind of wanted to take a moment and really recognize the fact that we can't knock on doors, we can't really get on buses in the same way that we used to be able to for a campaign. So we are really trying to create a virtual volunteer base out of New York that can really bring a blue wave across the country and wash away the past 4 years. My ancestors, many of us, our ancestors, built the People's House, and the current occupant is really trying to divide our country. So I want to make sure that we in Harlem step up and have a way to mobilize. So right now we're doing virtual phone banks. We're having virtual online community events similar to this one with campaign surrogates where we get updates. We have programs for high school students, college students, young professionals. We have seniors calling seniors in Pennsylvania. We have an amazing Wonder Woman Wednesday where we identify women candidates across the country. We have them come on, talk to us about their races and what's at stake, and then we phone bank for them. We have great programs where we're postcarding to remind voters how they can vote by mail, vote early, or vote in person. And really, and most importantly, we need to make sure that we register, protect, and expand the vote so that we can deliver an eviction notice to Donald Trump on November 3rd. Want to make sure that people know that they can email us at newyorkforbiden@gmail.com, and that we have a way for everyone to get involved. So if you like to do social media, we have a digital ambassadors program. If you like to write communications, we ask people to help us with sending out newsletters and education information to voters across the country. We're also doing a campaign to make sure that all registered voters in every state know the rules in their state, how to access an absentee ballot, where they can go to vote, how they can get registered, and what we can do to protect our post offices, because we know that there are vital resources to our community. Here in Harlem, I'm actually in Harlem, born and raised here for the past 45 years. So none better in terms of having an opportunity for Harlem to step up than to connect with us. We have a Harlem for Biden group. We have an amazing Black Women for Biden across the state, led by women elected officials, including Alicia Hyman, Latrice Walker, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, you name it. Tish James, our amazing Attorney General. There's 100 Black women that were on a call just on Friday night talking about how we're gonna fundraise, we're gonna register voters, we're gonna volunteer and get out the vote. We know that the Black vote is important, and we know that we are ready to lead this effort. Want to recommend that everyone, if you're listening, take out your phones and text the word READY, R-E-A-D-Y, to 30330. You're gonna text the word READY, R-E-A-D-Y, to 30330, because our team is ready to lead. And in terms of the convention, I want to echo that I thought the roll call showed the diversity, the inclusivity. As an ancestor of our First Nation people, the amount of Indigenous and First Nation people that were represented really draw a tear to my eye. Michelle Obama hit a home run, as she always does. And I really thought it was amazing that a Black woman of color, Jacqueline, who works at the New York Times as an elevator operator, was the person selected to nominate Joe Biden as the official candidate for presidency. It wasn't an elected official. It wasn't someone who, you know, is higher up on the political ladder, but it was an everyday working person. And I think that that was a dynamic moment for us as a nation. I also thought it was important to see all of the past primary candidates come together and show their respect and speak about the character and the empathy of Joe Biden in his work over the many years that he's been a public servant. We have one of our best public servants on this call in Gail Brewer. I don't know anybody who works harder than her, but it was great to see the stories told as a single mother, listening to how Joe Biden would take the train back and forth to care for his children and make sure he fed them dinner and was there for their breakfast in the morning, was really kind of therapy for us to see someone with such a big heart, who cared about family, who cared about everyday people. And I think that that is just in complete contrast to what we're seeing right now. So our campaign wants to make sure that we listen to the scientists, that we are campaigning safely, that we are creating online and offline ways to bring our community together, and to make sure that we get this win and take back the People's House on November 3rd.
Okay, thank you, Nye. I mean, I think all of us that are on this call, and probably all of the people that we speak to on a regular, and for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm Terry Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News, and we're coming to you live from Harlem. And today we are concentrating on what is happening with getting out the vote. We have our borough president here. We have a chief of staff, and I know I'm saying it wrong, for Reverend Al Sharpton, and we have Nye Whitaker and Imam Yusuf Hassan from the African American Day Parade. But Nye, I mean, all of us are convinced, all of us get it, all of us were moved, all of us were connected, but there are people who, because I feel so much has happened, they are apathetic. They're not in the game. There are young people who are disillusioned. And I think, I mean, we saw people come out. It's like when something happens, like the knee on the neck, George Floyd dying, Breonna Taylor, like people are gonna come out massive in the street. But I did hear Reverend Al Sharpton speak this morning, yes. And it's kind of like once you get out there and you do the demonstrating and, you know, you feel like pumped up, like you did something. But at the end of the day, if you don't vote behind what you're saying, it's not going to happen. So how do we connect these younger people? You know, I find it very interesting because we've had a lot of rumble. You know, when Kamala Harris, Kamala Senator, was the nominee, there was rumble from different people, well this, well that, you know, and I'm just saying, I mean, I think we really have to call it what it is, no matter what is going on. And I don't have the piece in front of me right now, but I read it last week. Ava DuVernay couldn't have said it clearer. It was all across social media to say all the things that Kamala Harris has not done. And obviously it was very clear when we see these candidates that these are humane people that care. You know, so we've got to translate this to those that are just not following through, because it is about voting, but at the same point, it's also what happens after they're elected. And how do we get the candidates to be able to represent what is needed here in a Harlem or a Harlems of the world. But first step is we got to get people to vote. Those that are apathetic, those that don't understand, those young people that didn't want to listen to the convention because they think it's boring. You know, how do we get that? Because unless something's in your face, I was in high school and college, late 60s, early 70s, stuff was in our face. So we were active, you know, until it became Winter in America, you know, which was through infiltrators, you know, and I'll quote Gil Scott-Heron all day long, you know. But what do you think? What are you all doing? I know you said you're getting high school people together, but how are you doing with that? Because these are the people that, the younger people that we've got to get it. Okay, so if you would just
You've got perfect timing, because actually today at 6 o'clock, we have what's called the Countdown Kickoff. We specifically have a group called New York for Biden Students and Young Professionals. One of the things I always say with young people, I'm a single mom of an 18-year-old, is peers need to talk to peers. They're not necessarily listening to us as adults. And so we have a specific group. They meet, they do a flashback Friday where they talk about the issues that care about them. They meet online in Zoom like they are this evening. DNC Vice Chair Michael Blake will be speaking to them about the importance of mobilizing young people. We have internship and fellowship programs, but pretty much we host events and activities where we give them an opportunity to voice their vision of what America can be and should be, to give them opportunities for leadership in working in public policy and public service. I think one of the issues, and Gail's heard me said this before, is we no longer teach civics in our public school and school systems. So we can't then complain when we have a generation of young people who don't know the importance of having a direct connection and being able to dial up their elected official and say, my block is not clean, what can we do? There's gun violence on my corner, what can we do? How do I get a summer youth job? I mean, right now we have jobs for teenagers to work as poll workers. We have jobs for teenagers through the redivision of summer youth to be out there working right now, doing census work. So we have opportunities for young people, and our New York for Biden Harris is here to make sure that they get connected. On our event tonight, we actually are going to have breakout rooms where each of the young people, high school students, college students, recent grads, young professionals, will be talking about what matters to them: education, student loan debt, jobs, economic development, affordable housing, the climate, gun violence, etc. So I think that what's unique about our group is that we are listening to our young people and we're letting them lead. We have a Students of Color group that hosts a phone bank that got so popular, it became national. We had students calling in from Arizona and Texas of color who didn't have a place in their own communities, but came to our phone banks where we had elected officials of color and leaders of color talking about the issues they care the most. We've been reviewing the Lift Every Voice platform of the Biden-Harris policy and going through it each week to talk about different areas and how they affect young people and communities of color. We also have an effort where we've been partnering with other groups. When we all vote, I will vote, etc. I know Nan does a great job at voter registration, NAACP, but we've been partnering with other groups to make sure that at the demonstrations that are happening, two things are going on. We're registering voters and we're getting people to complete the census, because we need to be counted. We know that the census and the numbers will determine how our communities are represented in the future, and we can't afford to lose our representation in this current time. And we know that the White House keeps playing games with the date. We know that the White House is playing games with the post office, and we need to make sure that our voices are heard. So I think the key thing with young people is connecting with them on social media, giving them a voice at the table, and giving them opportunities for leadership. And our group is doing that. And I'm not really seeing that with some of the other different candidates on the other side of the team. But we have a place and space for everyone on Team Biden. This morning, I was on a Believers for Biden faith-based call where there were young people who are involved with faith-based organization doing social justice work, stepping up to lead. We have a Progressives for Biden. We're welcoming young people who were Bernie Sanders supporters and Elizabeth Warren supporters, who might have been, supporters of any of the other candidates, into our family, and making sure that we have a big tent. Because what I do know is, with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, our agenda will have a seat at the table, and with the other team, we'll never get across the finish line.
Okay, so that's this is Terry Weisler. This is Harlem Network News, and I just think today here on Harlem Network News, we have an amazing response, and I know that everybody's pumped up, but I think we can't let ourselves our guard down. We've got to keep going, and we've really got to get into getting everybody involved, getting everybody understanding what's happening. We've got to really, especially for the young people, get across social media, because what they see on social media, that's what they believe. And that is what they understand, and that is what they know. So we really have to be like on Snapchat, you know, on Instagram. That's where they are, you know, and when they're watching these videos on YouTube about people going out shopping and dressing or whatever it is, we need to get out there so that they can understand it. It may even be across the video game platform, but they need to understand, because I've been talking to even some young people in my family, one of my grandsons who's in California, normally in Florida, and he really, like you said, they're not teaching civics, so he really didn't quite know what was going on, you know, and that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, you know, we've got to help them to know. Last question, and I'm going to go to you, Imam, and to the chaplain, but what can we do? Can we get Biden and Harris here? I think it's very important that they come to Harlem, even if it's a virtual thing, but they got to come. You know what I'm saying? Because not showing up, I think with President Obama, him coming to the Apollo, and that put also Red Rooster on the map forever with the $40,000 dinner. You know what I'm saying? The restaurant just, you know, zoomed off from there, because worldwide, everybody knew who Red Rooster was.
And
so
Sylvia's too.
Oh yes, and Sylvia's, I'm sorry.
And Kamala, yeah.
Everybody was right there, and we certainly cannot, you know, forget Sylvia's. That was our first, that is known. And in the Black Lives Matter, Trinace Woods, you know, was just a great part of it with Park to Park. So everybody is interconnected. But I'm just saying, I feel like he's got to come here. He's got to come, you know, they've got to come to the other Harlems of the world. They've got to physically come, have a town meeting, let people have their say. Is that on the table? How can we get that done? Because I feel that's critical. And I feel like there are people here who are in the mix that can make that a reality, because I think that's going to make a difference. You know, does anybody want to respond to that? Nye?
Oh, sure. I would just say that I'm a shameless plug. I'm actually the person who introduced Obama when he came here in 2012.
Okay.
And you can see the clip of that on Netflix in the documentary about the Apollo. So I do understand the importance of that presence. That was the first sitting president to ever come to the Apollo Theater. And I was honored to be there to introduce him. I was also there and part of the team that brought Hillary to the Apollo when she was running. I can't speak about what's going to happen here on behalf of the Biden campaign in terms of them physically coming in the current pandemic. But what I can say to you is this. I constantly hear from people every day that they don't see Biden, that they don't see him, you know, he's not on the news, he's not on the media. So I do want to recommend everyone who has access to YouTube. You can also access it through my website, New York for Biden, Harris, 2020.com. But there is a YouTube channel where Biden is on pretty much all day, every day, doing teletown halls, talking to the people in the Harlems around the world, talking to everyday people, talking about his policy, doing interviews with Kamala. I believe tonight, actually on the news, is their first interview together, which is coming on mainstream TV. And what I would say to everyone is we need to be digital ambassadors for this campaign. We don't need to just be posting about it. We need to be posting about it and celebrating the policies that they have and the ways that people can connect and get involved. Because you know what? We are New Yorkers, and there's one thing we like to do is we like to point out what's wrong. We don't always elevate what's right. And the current president has a platform as the president that he can call a press conference at any time to talk about any mischievous or crazy thing that he thinks of. Joe Biden is on YouTube, like you said, where the people are online, hosting and having real conversations. So I do want to say that I'm happy to take your request to the campaign. I tend to be someone who under promises and over delivers, so I'm going to under promise. I will underpromise and just say that we will share that there is a need for them to have a forum. But I also, Terry, will add you to my daily dose of Joe list that I do every morning.
Good.
That shows you where you can connect with them.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that's great. That's probably my public and my personal request. And you know how we get messages from the ancestors, and I have a message that I feel like they need to come, even if they're in the Apollo by themselves and nobody else is there. That is something that is going to go worldwide, because Harlem is known worldwide. And once that's done and said, you know, there's things that people know and they don't know. So once that's said, once that's done, you know, then we can help to get those that are hard sells to come in and actually get the message. So this is Harlem Network News. This is Terry Wisdom coming to you live. And I'm willing to work and help and do whatever has to be done. You know, love to have them come to Harlem Network News, you know, because I think one thing that has happened with this pandemic is that because we're all virtual, it has helped to level the playing fields for a lot. And the convention was actually even better because you got to see more people, you got to hear them, you got to connect with them. So it gave us another kind of thing. And even Harlem Week, whatever they have online, it's gonna be up for a year. So if you missed it, you could still get it. You can see it over and over again. You can slow it down. You can rewind it back. So, and you know, all of us at this point have gotten pretty good at using social media. So we got to keep going because we have so many people here. Imam Yusuf Hassan, would you just share a little bit about what's going on with the African American Day Parade? And I think it's a great segue because I know one of your honorees is Reverend Al Sharpton. So, Imam.
Well, thank you. Thank all of you for allowing me to be a part of your conversation today. And I just want to shout out to the Circle of Sisters, especially Nan, for what they're doing this coming up week. And I also want to say to Ms. Naya, and I support her 100%, we all need to vote. And I'm asking every part of the association to vote. Hopefully we will get this into our sphere so we can at least say hello, or they can say hello to us, just not asking for our votes. Let us see them sometime. But I just want to talk a little bit about the African American Day Parade. You know, it has been an honor to host this parade in Harlem for over 50 years. And we are truly grateful for all of our entire team, African American Day Parade team, our participants, our volunteers, our sponsors, and especially our community for helping us man this parade on Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard each year. But we do value and treasure our annual parade. We also value the safety of our community above all of this. So as you all know, COVID-19 has drastically changed the world. And statistics have shown that it has disproportionately affected the African American community. And with this in mind, we feel it's the right thing to do to have a virtual parade. And next year, we hope to be in person once again. This year, we have a great parade, and it focuses on our business community. We have 5 areas that we focus on. One is education. The second one is business, is health, then is culture and arts, and then is politics and government. So this year we are focusing on our business community. And we have a beautiful array of great business leaders that we are gonna honor. But above all of this, we're gonna be at least supporting 3 businesses with some scholarships this year.
Okay.
And that's important because we know our businesses have been hit very hard with this COVID-19 virus. And then we also have extended 20 free journal ads for the first 20 businesses of African or Black descent in our journal. That's important. And we have a great array of grand marshals this year. We have Cheryl McKissick Daniels as one of our Grand Marshals, the CEO and president of McKissick and McKissick. We have Dapper Dan.
Yes.
Dapper Dan, you know, he's a fashion innovator and a founder of Dapper Dan Harlem. And we also have Michael Gardner, the vice president of the diversity of the MTA.
Yes.
And we have Elbert Shamsuddin. He's the president and CEO of Thruway Builders and Thruway Insurance Brokers. And our marshals are also great this year. We have Ashley Kiko, a young lady who is a musician and the founder of her own studio of teaching young people in the community, Kiko Studios. Okay. And we also have Larry Blackman, public affairs professional. And we also have Lord Williams, who is the president of the Chamber, Uptown Chamber of Commerce and of Harlem Week, which we're going to shout out to Harlem Week today. They've done a great job.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And we have some great people that we're going to honor as well as our Teresa Freeman. I know most of you might not know Teresa Freeman, but most of us know Teresa Freeman as one of our great leaders in the community who's really supported NAN. She was the treasurer of the African American Day Parade, but she was a great volunteer in the community. So we have named the Teresa Freeman Community Service Award. And we have Melvin Muhammad. And most people might not know Melvin, but he was one of those brothers in the Attica that did a lot of good work to take care of that situation. And Tamara Norman, who's the vice president of the African American Day Parade. And we have Cordell Clare, who is another community activist, as we're gonna support her. And we also will be giving a reward to Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton.
Okay.
And Reverend Sharpton, I mean, he's down by law. It's just, you know, it's just the way it is, because each year we make sure we order enough Grand Marshal sashes for people that are extra in our community. That means Reverend Sharpton get his, David Dinkins get his, Charlie Ringles get his, and other community members that we know get their Grand Marshal sashes no matter what. And then we also have this year, we're going to be saluting our first responders this year. And we have an array of that on the virtual parade. You're going to see some of the great people that work in the healthcare system, the MTA, and all those other areas that people take for granted for what they've been doing to hold us up all these years. And our lead band this year is going to be the Ocean of Soul of HBCU band, Texas Southern University. They're going to lead the parade this year. And it's going to be, just a great parade so far. And other thing I want to just mention here is that we're going to have the great and comfortable Melvin Moore to sing her new song this year.
Oh, beautiful.
In African American Day Parade.
Yes, she was.
And along with DJ Scratch, who's going to be working with us as well. But this parade is going to be different than the other parade. The other parades that we've seen over the years and throughout this last few months, this is going to be a really magnificent parade that we are putting together as a team. I have a young team of board members, and we are making sure that they take this legacy for the next 50 years. Because if we doesn't groom our younger people, then how are we going to be able to get to the next level? Because people think that we, constantly, we stand on the shoulders of giants. They stand on our shoulders. We have the shoulders today. And we want to raise them up. And they whisper in our ear, do the right thing. Don't do anything negative. They're standing on our shoulders, and we should never forget them. So this parade is about showcasing the absolute best of our community and commemorating our ancestors. And what makes me really happy about this parade is to see the young children, that sometimes we forget about them when they are out there dancing and trying to learn their little routines and have nowhere to go and really showcase it. So we make sure they're showcased in African American Day Parade each year. And we make sure we have a special place for our senior citizens, because they cannot be traveling all over the place. So we make a reviewing stand that's available to them and their caretakers as well. So we hope that all of you would support the parade, and we want you to come out and support us in every way you can, especially monetarily. And I will say this because it's important. We reached out to everyone in this community, every news media and every outlet. We do it every year. We send them a press release. We send them all the information out. Very few respond back to us to support the African American Day Parade. And that's fine, because we are people that know how to do what we need to do ourselves. And we do ask people to help, but if you're not going to help us, then please just let us do what we do, and we should help each other. And yes. I say that to our celebrities, I say that to our basketball players, football players, and all those community people that we have raised in our community, in the ghetto. We have raised them up to a level now that is so important that they forget about what once they've come. And we want them to remember that. And this parade hopefully will provide that for them. And, you know, another thing, I just want to say this, the last thing before I get off my soapbox, is this.
Thank you, Imam.
Listen to this. People, many, you know, people call us people of color. They call us minorities. And when you say those type of things, that means I'm still less than you. And everybody's people of color. And everyone can be a minority to go to certain neighborhoods. So I think we need to call us what we call ourselves. If I call myself an African American, call me an African American. If I say I'm a Latina, let me call me a Latina. But don't continue to label me and call me what you want to call me, because it makes me feel like I'm not that worthy. And we all are human beings under God, and we all have the faith, and we all have the strength to be able to do what God planned for us to do. Let us work us in our places. And we're working in our places with African American Day Parade to continue to keep something positive. After all of this is settled and done, with all this COVID, all of these other things that's going on, we still have to continue to fight and struggle to be good human beings and have something positive for our people to look at. Thank you very kindly.
Yes, thank you. And we'll be sure to put in the chat, Imam, how people can get in touch with you. How can they get in touch and help and be able to see the African American Day Parade?
Well, you can always go to our website, AfricanAmericanDayParade.org. And you can always email us if you have any questions at info@African American Day Parade. And you can also go to our Facebook page. You can go to our Twitter account. You can go to all of our accounts on the African American Day Parade. And you're always welcome to ask us any questions that you would like.
Okay, thank you so much, Imam. And one of the statements that Imam Youssef mentioned is why Harlem Network News is important. This is Terry Wisdom, and for those of you who are just coming in, Harlem Network News, we're talking about voting and a lot of the issues that are here in Harlem, Manhattan, New York, and the world. But a lot of our events are not covered. Press releases are sent out. Things happen, even like the Black Lives Matter mural being destroyed, and it was never even on New York One. So that's why Harlem Network News is here. We want to make sure that people are involved, engaged, feel a part, and we do have to just stand up and do the things that we need to do to support our community. And we're a resilient and a creative people, so we're able to do that. And we're humble and basically not bitter. We get it done. I am going to come to our NAN group. I want to start with Derek, and you can introduce all the people that you have here. Chaplain, are you with the NAN group, or is there something very specific that you want to?
Of course, she's with NAN. She's okay. Of course, but no, you can't put Chaplain Cole in the box. She does too much just to be NAN.
Okay.
She's a veteran of this country. Salute her, ranked. So Chaplain Cole, I salute her. But I want to thank everyone, all my friends and family for joining. I want to thank the Madam Borough President Gail Brewer, Imam Nab Whitaker, all the great work you've been doing for the years. I have my cousin on the line. This is my blood cousin, closest thing I have to a big brother, my cousin Mitchell Elam. He's a president, Big Brother Almighty at the Masonic Lodge. He'll tell you his title. I have my sister Naya A on the line. She helped me very good in activism and doing great things. I have my cousin, my blood cousin, Victoria Davis on the line. Yeah. She is also, my cousin, her brother, Delron Smalls, was taken from us by off-duty police officer. We're still seeking justice. She'll be in D.C. With the Congress senators and stuff. She'll let you know what she's doing. And I got my brother Asa Smarks. He's just my brother, and he just tapped in. He does a lot on financial with Forex and stuff, but he wanted to be a part of this. He does an effort with the march also. So everyone who's on here basically has a big push on effort. But before I get into that, I want to address what Imam said, because he's absolutely right. We have had a New York State Assembly and New York State Senate in session for over 243 years. Every time we had a leader in those places, they went by a title of speaker, silver, whatever, speaker. Now that we have people of color in that leadership, they're getting disrespected and said with no title. It's sort of like we had President Obama. Everybody was president up until Barack was president. Oh, it's Obama this, Barack that. We have to make sure we demand, I don't care if you have different issues with these elected officials, Madam Borough President earned her title. That is her title. You will not call her Gail Brewer. You will not call Carl Hasty. You will call him Speaker Hasty, and you will not call Andrea Cousins that. You will call her Madam Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins. And that will go for our future Vice President, Kamala Harris. You will not call her Kamala. You will not call her Harris. You will call her Vice President Harris. I had to say that because there is a wave of things going on, and our people, our leaders are being disrespected. And I just want to bring that to the floor here because Imam made a good point, and I just had to bring that out. So now let's talk about the good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This Friday, Terry Wisdom, thank you, and Harlem News Network.
Thank you.
This Friday, we are 5 days away. I am happy and blessed and humbled to be a part of the historic effort. I could not do it without my bus coordinator team of Nikita Camille of Queens. She works for Assemblywoman Heyman's office. Karima Pace, a good friend of mine. She works in Manhattan. Keith Lillies have been helping. Bobby Digi out in Staten Island. I have a team, Shamaya Morris in the Bronx. I salute my Bucks coordinators. We are rocking. The House of Justice alone, Reverend Sharpton has arranged for these buses for everyone. He has arranged for these buses. No, you do not have to pay. Get on the bus. It's a 50-seat bus. It's only allowing for social distancing purposes 25 passengers on the bus.
Excellent, excellent.
Everyone will get their temperature taken before they get on that bus. Everyone is asked to wear masks for the duration of that bus.
Yes.
And we're going to have a good time. It's going to be historic. 57 years in perspective. I put this in context only because it's very important people understand the power of this march. It's not just a march. People say march and protest, just making noise. It doesn't get things done. Miss Terry, 57 years ago, in 63, I'm 49, I wasn't around. My cousin Mitchell's only 2 years older than me. He wasn't around. But we know that in 53, Martin Luther King marched on Washington with the Gang of Six that's always left out. It's always King alone. The Gang of Six. And John Lewis was part of that Gang of Six at the age of 18. Yes. And the brother, we lost him 3-4 weeks ago, John Lewis, was a part of that. So they put together the march. King was the only clergy member to put together this march. And when they put together this march, and you ask our youth today, what do you know about Dr. King? Now, Asa, let me know if I'm lying, Asa. They will tell you we have a holiday about Dr. King, and he did a I Have a Dream speech. That's what they'll tell us. But they dilute the fact that after that march in 63, 64, 65, and 68, we had 3 bills passed that was monumental on the federal level: the Civil Rights Bill and the Voting Rights Act. And without those 2 pieces of legislation, we all can agree we'd be in much worse shape than we are now. So this time around, 400 years of the commemoration of being brought to this country as in chains, kidnapped from Africa and brought here. People dispute that it could be 450 years for some people, but we know for a fact 400 years ago, 19 Africans were kidnapped and brought from Africa to the new land, and then first 19 people were made slaves. And generation after generation after generation, that carried on for 250 years till 1865. 250 years we were slaves. Chattel slavery. Your children was my slave. Your grandchildren was my slave. Your child get born, ripped from your womb, right, and shipped across the country. These things were happening to our people. We have been out of that since 1865. We have been out of slavery less than the number of years we've been in slavery. The only way we're going to make change in this country that was built, the Constitution was written by white supremacists. They had slaves when they wrote it. We're 3/5 in the Constitution. The only way we could change things is on a federal level. So when we go to Washington, we are asking for change in November, and not just the White House. A lot of people just get stuck on the White House. That's the distraction. It's a 3-ring circus. He's just one ring. That Senate has to get flipped. That's without question. Mitch McConnell has to go. Lindsey Graham has to go. So let me tell you the bigger plan. Reverend Sharpton has a bigger plan, master strategist of our time. All right? You see my team going crazy over there because they know the work they put in. And I'm proud of them, and I salute them. Reverend Sharpton has delegated all the hot states, Madam President, all the hot states in the country are not allowed to bring a bus to D.C. They're not allowed. They could drive. That's on their own admission. The buses are not allowed in D.C. if you're in a hot state. However, you can make your voice known. What we doing, Cole? And what we doing? I know for a fact in South Carolina, they are going to march on a congressional member's house, senator's house. They're going to march at his office. They're going to make noise. In those hot states, they still could be vocal because change needs to come, Terry. And if we don't change 2020, a bigger plague gonna come next year. The plague was waking everybody up to change us in November. So I want to bring on a few of my people just to show about the effort they've been putting in. And my cousin Mitchell, I just contacted him less than a week ago, and he already got a bus full ready to go out to D.C. So I want to bring my cousin from the Masonic Lodge, my cousin, my blood cousin, my big brother who raised me, who are part of my fabric, Mitchell Elam.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. In the spirit of what my cousin said, my name is Mitchell Elam. I'm a member of the Principal Masonic Lodge on 155th Street, 454 West 155th Street. My title there is District Deputy Grand Master. I represent our Grand Master, Walter C. King. That's one title I hold. The other title I hold is what they call illustrious potentate of Medina Temple number 19, which is the Prince Hall Shriners. And what we every year we're mandated. And
you see why I just said Big Brother Almighty? I can't keep up with all those fancy titles.
We're mandated. All of our organizations are mandated to do community service work. We have a Medina Temple number 19 and the Prince Hall Grand Lodge of New York. We're doing a voter registration drive September 12th in Harlem on 125th Street, 12 p.m. We do City Harvest. We feed the community. The 30th precinct. The 30th precinct council is led by the president of the 30th precinct council is led by one of my lodge brothers, Lynn McTeer, and through him and efforts of other brothers, we conduct the City Harvest in front of 454 West 155th Street. I don't want to give the wrong dates, but on the first Thursday and the fourth Saturday of each month, where we give out tons of food. But yeah, I like he said, I'm only 51. I wasn't there for the March on Washington with regard to King, but I did march. I did go down to the Million Man March, and it was profound. And now that I'm in this leadership position, I thought that it would be in my best interest to facilitate getting, returning individuals that went or giving other brothers and sisters the opportunity to go down and do something like this for the first time. So that's what I'm doing. We put this bus together. It was real quick. Just like me getting on this call was real quick. Thank you, Derek. But
yeah, I put them on the spot. A lot of them didn't think they were speaking and everything.
But we do our part day in and day out. Yeah, as an organization, we are not supposed to endorse. We're not supposed to put our brand on a candidate, but we all speak in the same language. We all know who we're going to vote for. I'm just trying to do my part, and that's getting this bus down there and speaking on it on social media, getting my opinion across, refuting some of the bad news that are out there, demanding that people back up their claims, their false claims on social media. So I'm just trying to do my part, and I want to thank National Action Network, Reverend Al Sharpton, my cousin Derek Perkinson, and all those involved. So thank you again.
Mitchell, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Miss Terry, I have to introduce the next one. She's a good friend.
No, everybody that you brought here, we're a little bit over time.
Okay,
but that's okay. We want everybody to be heard. This is way too critical for our community.
Let me just make one more point, Miss Terry.
Please,
the two bills, that's very important. The John Lewis bill is going to address voting. It's going to replace the map of the 64 Voting Rights Act map was taken out of the bill. So they're waking the voting bill. So the John Lewis bill will strengthen the Voting Rights Act. And we need to go state by state with that map. That's another thing. And Madam President can help me with that. And the other bill is the George Floyd bill. Very important. George Floyd Justice and Policing. It will expose the police officer's record involved in misconduct. And also, if you law enforcement applies the chokehold nationally, it will be a federal crime with jail time attached. So those are the two things I had to say. I'll see you guys Friday. Buses leaving at 3 a.m. We have over 80 buses leaving. By Friday, it'll be 100 buses leaving out of Manhattan, New York City. Anaya, she helped with the Haitian bus. Cole got the LGBTQ bus, and we got a lot of buses coming. So we're still seats. Reach out to me. Let's get it going.
Okay, so the buses are leaving at 3 a.m. on Friday morning. What do people have to do? Where can they reach out to get on the bus? There's also, it's going to be virtual because you're going to live stream it. So if they're not, and Harlem Network News will definitely share that on our page. We're going to do our part. We reached out to you, and we're waiting on our press credentials because we are going to come down there and we are going to cover this live. We're proactive. We're a proactive organization, and we know that it's important for us to tell our story. So if you can let everybody know what they need to do so that they can participate on the live stream. I also was hearing today that there's another Black Vote thing happening in the evening at 7 or 8 o'clock. If anybody would like to expand on that so that everyone can be as involved as possible and make this happen.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the Black Vote thing for tonight, but
okay, yeah, I think it's the Friday evening.
Yep,
yes.
Our buses are leaving from the 5 boroughs on Friday, Thursday night going into Friday morning at 3 a.m. The buses are leaving. That don't mean show up. We tell everybody get there 2:15. We're leaving at 3. We're coming back at 4 o'clock. Get on the bus before 4 p.m. so we come back from D.C. So we have buses leaving from a lot of different locations, all 5 boroughs, the Harlem State Office Building, Hostos College, Boys and Girls High School. We have a whole bunch of places. So you can email me at dperkinson@nationalactionnetwork.net. That's DPERKINSON, just like it sounds, Perkinson, dperkinson@nationalactionnetwork.net. And email me if you need a seat. Let me know what borough. Give me your full name, email, phone number, and how many people is coming with you. And I'll see you all out there to make history because I'm excited and I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. So for those of you who are a little bit over time, but we want to hear everyone. I thank everyone for standing firm with us and just taking the time to get the information. Knowledge is power. That's what Harlem Network News is about. We're boots on the ground. You can reach us at harlemnetworknews.com, harlemnetworknews@gmail.com. We're right here and we're standing, and we have been tool for this our whole life. As I say, I come out of the late 60s, early 70s. I went to Lincoln University where Gil Scott-Heron started his band. He was a personal friend. I read a lot of his manuscripts. before it happened. And I listen to his music all the time. He even has a song that talks about no knock, you know, and that was how many years ago, and how Fred Hampton, the Panther, was killed. So prophetic, profound, but we're ready for this. We've been tuned for this our whole life. So, you know, and COVID as the virus, and the virus of racism, and the virus of ignorance, and the virus of apathy, we're here and we're ready for the fight. Okay, our ancestors are all watching over us. So go ahead. Thank you so much. And I believe that what I was speaking about, and I've got to research it because I just heard it on Imhotep Gary Bird, but it was about the National Black Convention, voting convention, something that's coming on a Friday evening. So we're going to research that and vet that, but we want to bring it all together. So go right ahead, Derek, if you would just introduce the rest of your guests and Chaplain, and let us hear what everybody's got to say.
Okay.
Everybody.
Next up, I need to introduce my cousin, Victoria Davis, because Victoria is down there doing the good work with the congressional people, the senators. She's going to speak to you, and she's going to be down there. Victoria, cousin, come tell us what you're doing.
Yes, hi. Thank you guys for having me today. I just wanted to be really brief. I'm an activist and organizer. I do a lot of different types of work. Most currently, I have attended the summit with Barbara Arwine and Reverend Jesse Jackson. There was a summit for young people. So I want to speak about voting and young people. So there was a summit that a lot of us attended, and it was for Generation Zers and millennials. And the point of the summit was not only to celebrate the commemoration of voting rights, how it was also to engage people of Generation Zers and millennials in voting and campaigning around voting suppression and voter purging. So we have a lot of people who don't really understand that voter suppression is a real thing, voter purging is a real thing. So I don't really believe that, you know, millennials or Generation Zers aren't engaged in voting or don't want to vote. I think that they're honestly afraid or they're scared because there is a lot of misinformation that is being put out, you know, by one of the parties kind of to scare people. And people are already nervous and already dealing with a lot around social justice issues, COVID-19, and there's just a lot of reasons for Black people to be, you know, just anxious. But what we can't be is afraid, and we can't be inactive. And so there are a lot of people, you know, even people in their early 20s and teenagers who are showing up in spaces like they have always. It's just that now it's more important for people who aren't in that age category to support them while they're out there, support them while they're on the ground, and let them know that there's other work to be done. And all work for the people isn't just reactionary work, but the work should also be done to prevent. So right now, as far as voting goes, I mean, I feel preventing our communities from more issues around racial disparities is like really important. And I just feel that like we all have a part in all tactics and all of that good stuff. And so I'll just finish up by saying that on Friday, I'm a Health Initiatives Fellow for Breon Wells at the Daniel Initiative SET project. And we are helping to spearhead the events around the March in Washington. So my role is to greet and check in the congressional members. But while I'm there, I'll network, and I'm actually currently working on a campaign to combat voter suppression, voter purging, and just letting people know that this is a real thing. It is happening. It has happened. It's nothing new. But now more than ever, it's really, really important that anyone who can vote knows that they can vote. And it's important for people who may feel that they can't vote because they have felonies, just for a lot of different reasons. So I am starting a campaign, and I'm building a team of people where we're going to go at nighttime when the trains are closed down to have people vote. I'm sorry, make sure that they're signed up for vote on the different platforms at the Times Square, Port Authority Port Authority terminal.
Awesome.
And so I think that, you know, we all just need to do our part, and we all just need to be engaged. This is a really important time.
Yes, thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
cuz.
you. Thank you so much. And a part of doing the part is please support Harlem Network News. If you can support financially or by contributing stories or just coming on, like all these great people have come on today. We also need support in getting the word out. Like just share us on your page, social media, send it out to everybody because we're covering stuff. We got the content, okay? We know what we need to do. We just need to get it out. We need to get the word out. We need the support. We need the energy. We need more people to check in and know that the knowledge is power and the knowledge that we're giving. And we are harlemnetworknews.com or reach out to us at harlemnetworknews@gmail.com. And I'm going to go back to you, Derek, so you can introduce the rest of the guests and, you know, just let us know again how we can participate in this great Reverend Al Sharpton March on Washington. Get your knee off our neck and the 2 bills that are going to come out of the March on Washington. So we're not going to be down there just to, you know, march and then we just going home and get on to something else. No, we're taking this to the wall. Everybody is serious. We've seen what has happened. We are proactive and we're not going to have it anymore. So,
You're absolutely
yes.
right. You're absolutely right. So we are ready. We are ready. You're right. Those 2 bills are very, very, and again, those bills 57 years ago didn't really benefit King in the 6th. They benefited us. They benefited me, Mitch, my cousins, my family, my generation. That's who they benefited. And these bills are going to benefit the next generation. So be it. So we have to get down there. We have to do it in force. And next up, I do have a young woman. She's been putting things together for years. She has a show also. And to your point real quick, Terry, when you say how can people get involved, there's 3 ways you can always get involved. 3 ways. You can join an organization you identify with. Join them, give them your time, your effort, your ideas. If you don't have the time to join, like you just said, look at your social media posts of the organizations you identify with. Screenshot some of their stuff, reshare this information to help to get the word out on that front. If you can't do 1 and 2, do the easiest part, $10, $20, $30, $50 to an organization you support. That's the easiest part. That's the laziest part. Send a couple of dollars, throw money at the problem. But hey, the movement costs money. Campaigns cost money. So things cost money and everybody needs money. So next up, I bring to you the one and only Miss Anaya A of the Anaya A Show. She's an activist, a commentator, entertainer. She's so many things. She's so many things. And she put together almost 2 buses. She also has brought Haitian Day to National Action Network. Reverend Sharpton is an honorary Haitian.
Okay.
She also brought the Haitian Committee to the Action Network. And she does a lot of things out in Florida. So Asa, you and her need to connect down in Florida because she does a lot of things there. So I bring to you guys Miss Anaya A.
Thank you so much, Derek. Can everybody hear me okay, first of all?
Yes, we can. Yes,
excellent. I am so proud and honored to be here. And as you know, like he stated, I wear many hats, but predominantly, you know, being an activist is my primary hat. Even on national television, I'm also a contributor on the Dr. Oz show. So you may have noticed me there. And one of the components of being on national TV for me is education and empowerment, right? So that's why this whole thing is so important, that when we talk to our people, we plug those things in. Because if we're not healthy and if we're not living right and in our fullest capacity, then what are we doing? So I always want to share that first and foremost. Secondly, Miss Terry, we actually know each other from another location, I believe through a women's group by the name of Gurmeen International.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it's been a very long time. And when I noticed the name, I said, oh my God, I know her, but we haven't seen each other in a long time, face to face. But you are doing a great job.
Our world is small, as we know, Harlem Network News. And that's why, like your grandmother always said, you know, those you meet on the way up or the ones on the way down, you know, be great to everyone. And
everyone.
That's a true story. And we know that there are absolutely the 6 degrees of separation for sure.
And you know what? It's no longer 6 degrees. it's 1 degree now because everybody is interconnected, especially through social media. So, okay, I just wanted to share that I'm so honored again to be here. We have now, for the first time in history of the National Action Network, the Haitian Committee, which I am the chairwoman for that. Just 2 years ago or so, Derek Perkinson helped, come on now, give it up. Derek Perkinson helped bring us together with, you know, the honorable, amazing Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton, so that we can honor him as an honorary Haitian. And that was the first time anybody has done that for him as well. And I'm so privileged that God would choose this little Haitian American Brooklyn girl to do something so amazing, when I remember watching and listening to Reverend Al Sharpton fighting for the Haitian people on bridges when they said Haitians brought AIDS to the United States. And I would cry wondering, why were people so mean? But then we had a Reverend Al Sharpton who was like, no justice, no peace. We're shutting it down. We're not gonna let you people put this on these group of people that are coming. So my story is pretty extensive, but I'm just gonna share this, that everything that we're doing is for a purpose and a mission. And with the Haitian community, one of the things I want people to learn, especially from my position, is, you know, we were the first free Black nation. However, because of injustice, thank you so much. Because of a lot of injustice.
No. Hold on.
Go ahead.
A lot of people, listen, a free country, man. Haiti did it by themselves.
Yeah.
We don't celebrate that, Terry. Madam President, we don't celebrate Haiti as a free by themselves.
By ourselves. And one of the things we had to do was create our own language. That's why I was putting in the message group that our language is kind of historical within itself, because these people were brilliant enough to bring words together and different dialects and just sounds and create an entire language. And I'm so proud of my community for being who we are. But one of the things that we don't do is acclimate ourselves a whole lot into other communities because of all the racism we've experienced, the hurt and the pain, which I studied psychology. So I kind of broke it down why we're kind of, you know, to ourselves. And I think that's predominantly the reason, the hurt, the pains, you know, talking about getting your knee off our necks. When you're a free country and then France says, now you owe us $50 trillion. Like, where were they supposed to get that, right? But Haiti did it. Thank you so much, Dee. You know, Haiti did it, and we are a proud and we are a strong people. And now, with the grace of God, I'm able to say, la union fait la force. Like, en aller, mais ensemble, okay? Like, these are different things that we have in my language. You know, there's strength in unity. You know, hands together, we can do much more. And my Haitian community consists of a lot of great doctors, a lot of great leaders, and we also have Jensen Desrosiers, who is my right-hand man, who is the leader of the Haitian Leadership Forum, who's helped put this together. So with that being said, a lot of the people that are a part of the Haitian community and committee are not actually in like the heart of Harlem, as you would think. Most of them are in Brooklyn, as well as throughout, you know, New Jersey and the, you know, the 3 boroughs, you know, the tri-state or what have you. But we're working on bringing our Haitian people together more because we believe, again, that there is strength in unity. 2 last things. If you noticed moments ago, I shared this. So just a couple of weeks ago, I was one of the speakers with Reverend Kevin McCall, as well as our community, when we marched throughout Times Square. I know you've probably seen it all over the media, throughout Times Square, all day to Trump's, you know, whatever. And so we stood out there and we spoke, and I wanted to share, because I don't know if you guys could read it. It says, tell the Senate, pass the George Floyd bill, HR 7120, change the world. Now we have a lot more of these available. I'm reaching out to the young lady and the team that put them together. I don't know how fast we can get them. Maybe we can get some for the march. I'm working on that as we speak. And just closing off, I can be reached off, reached at the the Anaya A Show at gmail.com, the Anaya A Show at gmail.com. And I'm on social media every night at 8:30 p.m. with my show. And I had to take the lead, right, Terry? Since COVID, because I can't be in a TV station at ABC or on Dr. Oz or any other station because of what's happening. And, you know, together, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to do much more. And I'm so excited, like I said, you know, for the opportunity to just be a voice. Like, again, I sit back sometimes and I'm like, did my ancestors do this or what, right? Dessalines, Christophe, and Louverture, I know they're watching and I hope they're proud. So God bless you guys. And thank you again, Derek.
Anaya.
Yes. Hi.
How you doing? This is Mitchell. I have another Haitian talking point for you.
Okay.
The most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge, before it was named that, its name was Boyer Grand Lodge.
Okay.
Fun
That's
fact.
French. Boy, yeah.
No, that was our Grand Lodge was named after the first president.
Oh,
Wow.
he was Haitian. He was Haitian.
Wow. I just heard boy, yeah. You know, it's so funny. And I want to share this because of racism and all of the practices. Now, you guys might laugh at this, but just like Derek was saying and others have stated, we do not know our history as Haitian people. There's been so much like anguish and sadness. I don't know if you've heard of all the different issues. I'm definitely nowhere near 50, nowhere near 40 or whatever. So like I grew up learning, you know, a couple of things in the history books. Dr. King, I learned, like Derek was saying, you know, he had a dream, right? One of the things that just astonishes me is the fact that I'm completely oblivious to my Haitian history. And when I try to talk to my parents, the first thing out of their eyes is pain and sadness. My father has not been back to Haiti since he's left. And that was almost 50 years ago. So, you know, it gets emotional for me because when I look at America and I look at all the different things that we have here, the thing that I'm proud most about is the fact that the Black people overcame everything they overcame and turned around and actually utilized their strength to write it down, to inscribe it. Whereas my Haitian community, they hurt so much and all they know is survival. And they don't know that they can be proud of themselves, right? And the first time I identified with being a Haitian beautiful queen, because of course the skin color, all the other issues that we have to face as Black people, especially Black women, one of the things we're taught is not to love ourselves, bleach our skin, you know, perm our hair. These things go on and on. And I'll never forget in Atlanta, when I lived in Atlanta, it was the first time I heard that I was a queen. As I was walking down the street in West End, I don't know if anybody knows about Atlanta. I was in the West End, hey, and an African brother in all white garb, I swear, it was like he fell out of heaven, was like, sister, do you know you are a queen? And I'm like, who you talking from? I'm from Brooklyn. Like, I don't, Queens what, you know? Because I thought he meant from Queens. And he was like, no, you are a queen, my sister. You are a Haitian queen. He knew. I didn't know how he knew. And I was like, yo, son. And I had the nails and the wigs and this and that. And I'm popping off. And then at that moment, I stopped. And I realized that he was speaking to my spirit. And that's when I said, what do you mean by that, my brother? I've never heard that before. You know, because we're not taught to love ourselves. And so he was like, my sister, go and research your people. You are going to change many people's lives. And he just started ministering to me. And so I say that to say, when it comes to the past presidents, I know Ted Kale, who is, you know, our singer that we just had. I know, you know, Jovenel, who's now with us. I know, you know, Aristide, but that's as far as the history goes. And I'm trying to change that every day. So I salute you, King. And if you can help me learn more about my people, I'll appreciate it.
So everything is continually happening. We thank you. We're going to wrap up. We're going to get to Chaplain. And I would just implore everyone that is on this panel, please send, I know Derek has them, but send all your contacts so that Harlem Network News can reach out to you directly. Harlem Network News at gmail.com. Just send all your contacts, what you're doing, what your pages are, so we can tag and share and do all those things. I pretty much have getting my PhD in technology and it's happened but I'm getting it with the help of all the younger people. I also wanted to share, I also wanted to share that as we are going to cover this historic march, that the 20 years plus years ago, I had the fortune of covering the Million Woman March. And I did a documentary on that. I covered it all. I have all the great speakers. And I will be putting it up. This is, if anybody can see what the cover looked like to the audio version. So this is not new.
Terry, I need that. I need that. I want to get people so excited.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to play that all week. I will get them so excited.
Truly.
They will fight their hand off if they not coming.
Because all the speakers that were on there, Maxine Waters, Jada Pinkett, you know, the Shabazz, I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing. So I think that we're there and we're going to keep going. We just have to, you know, not let it get to be winter in America again. And the revolution is now being televised live on Zoom and Facebook and everything else. So we just have to, you know, not give up. We have to not let everything get us sad because it could. We are resilient people. And I say that the sisters from Harlem Park to Park, though 4,000 bikers rolled over their mural and somebody came and threw paint on it and did everything else, they restored that mural. And they were humble, they weren't angry, they were just about getting the job done. So Chaplain,
no, let me introduce, I have to introduce
you do the introduction.
This phenomenal individual, this phenomenal human being that God has created in the form of Karen Cole Napa. Listen, to you, everyone who don't know, I bring to you my sister. If she want to be my brother, she's my brother. I do know she is a good friend of mine. She helped me put together the LGBT committee at NAN. She helped me put together the Veterans Committee at NAN. She has done so many of great things, aside from what she's done for me, what she's done for this country. She's fought for this country for over 15 years. She's a decorated, ranked person, soldier. She's awesome, a friend. If this woman calls you a friend, you are blessed. I bring to you none other than Chaplain Cole Napper.
Wow, that is quite the introduction. That is amazing. Thank you,
every
Derek.
word.
Thank you, Terry, for holding this space. This is amazing. And Anaya, shout out to Nye Whitaker for her hard work. She's just an amazing person. Nice to meet you, Brother Mitch, and Sister Victoria. I think I got everybody. Oh, Brother Hassan, and of course the fabulous Gail Brewer. All I'm going to say to kind of wrap everything up is that we are so lucky and so blessed to have the Reverend Al Sharpton, right? He is the civil rights leader of our time, and from a historical perspective, there is nothing that is more powerful to me than the work that Reverend Sharpton is doing. We take it for granted that he has a platform and he is out there doing the work every single day. And it is just a beautiful sight to see. And we know that things are different this time because for the first time, as you said, Terry, we have the technology, but we also have the education, and we can teach and educate. And that is what is going to make the difference in November. And we are going to come through with a blue tsunami that is just going to flush out and rinse away all of the complicity and all of the corruption that we have in our elected officials right now. So I'm very happy and pleased to be here. The March on Washington, if you haven't signed up, you can go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, sign up. We have room, we have space. It's going to be safe. It's going to be socially distanced. We have excellent safety and security measures in place for everyone. So thank you very much for providing this space for us to talk about it. And I am just so excited and blessed. Thank you all. Thank you, Terry.
Okay, and thank you. And as we move into this Reverend Al Sharpton, Get Your Knee Off Our Neck, March on Washington, that is also supporting two bills, the George Floyd bill, as well as the next bill with the police transparency and their records. We're going to get those things done. Now, is there a cutoff? Like, what is the cutoff that people can sign up for the buses?
Well,
how's that working? What's the
that's a good question, because people calling, our people always late. At last minute, Johnny come lately. They want to wait to the last minute. Tuesday, we're receiving the thermometers because everyone has to get a temperature taken before they get on the bus. So I have to take that to every bus captain in New York City. So Mitch, I'll be seeing you soon. We're going to drop off the thermometers, every bus captain. So, and we're having a bus captain's phone call this Tuesday. So I want to say Tuesday. Also, what's today? Oh, August 20th is what the CDC, whatever was locked in on that day in the CDC health records. Those are the guidelines we're going by. So technically, it's almost over, but I'll give people up to Tuesday. to think about making history, if they need to think that long about coming to make history with us. Because we're going to make history together if they coming or not. And we're going to pass this legislation for generations to come. And this is just the start. And we're going to do some more.
Okay. So thank you. So I think we're pretty clear. And Harlem Network News is going to be putting out some articles. We're going to be on Facebook Live and Instagram daily. We'll probably work on getting some separate interviews so we can put together a little documentary on this march, just like we did for the other one. But I think the energy is good. I think everything is in place. I want to thank one of our district leaders, Wilma Brown, for really getting me to Nye, you know, and that happened quickly because I just had a conversation. And I think it's very important. This is Terry Wisdom, this is Harlem Network News, but everything and being part of organizations and engagements and so on and so forth is important, because as we speak to people, it's done. You know, I spoke about wanting to get President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris here, and I'm saying it like that because I'm claiming it. But as soon as I said that to Wilma Brown, she said, well, I'm gonna reach out to Nye, you know, and in like 30 seconds, Nye called me and the answer was yes. You know, Derek has been on the show before, and Derek didn't come by himself. He came with a whole crew. You know what I'm saying? So that puts us on to more people. And Gail, our borough president, our honorable Gail Brewer, is everywhere. She is, as you can see for the flyer for this, she was helping our congressman who, Espion, who could not be here because he's in Washington trying to get everything sorted out this weekend in Congress. You know, Reverend Al Taylor, who has been another one of our great supporters, is on the street every night claiming back the block. Aisha Sekou, who has been on Harlem Network News, she's gathering the young people, and I had invited her to be on today, but I know she's busy. But I think that she can take her young people to be the voting ambassadors, you know, to get those other young people out. We got to go to the Rucker, the basketball tournament. We have got to get this done, and we have the capacity to do it. So I thank everyone for being here. We're over time, but that's okay. We're in the creator's time, and we know that. Just the fact that this mobilized like this and that we're all interconnected in different ways. I want you to watch for the African American Day Parade and what's coming up with Imam. He's been another great supporter of us. And those of you that I'm just meeting today virtually, and it's a blessing that I can, it's a good thing. So if anyone has closing remarks, please just shout it out. This is Harlem Network News. And
there's nothing to say, but Friday, August 28th, buses are leaving at 3 a.m. Be there at 2:15. Don't be late. Call me, 646-659-9850 if you want a seat on the bus toward history. I want to make history together. I will be there. Cole will be there. Mitch will be there. Anaya will be there. Victoria will be there. Imam will be there. The honorable, beautiful Gail Brewer will be there.
Okay.
Will be there. Harlem
yes, and Harlem Network News will be covering the event. Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it. And I'm pumped up. I'm overwhelmed, and whatever Anaya was saying in the Haitian patois, I didn't understand it, but I did because it brought me to tears. I don't know what the exact words were, but I know what the intention was.
Well, I'll just close it off and let you know. La union fait la force. Say it with me, everybody. La union.
La union.
Fait la force.
Fait la force.
So that is, there is strength in unity.
Okay.
Okay. So that's just one for now. The next time I'll teach you a lot more. How about that?
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And repeat that number one last time, Derek. And we're going to close. And we thank everybody for being patient. Yes.
Cole, what's the number? I don't even know the 800 number by part.
Whatever number it is that people can get.
Okay. Call me 646-659-9850. That's my personal cell, or email dperkinson@nationalactionnetwork.net, and let's make history together. Thanks for having me, Terry.
Absolutely. It's a great day in Harlem, and when you get on here, you know, get on it's harlemweek.com and look for that African American Day Parade. We have to support our own. And thank you, Honorable Gail Blue.
I hope somebody took a screenshot of this. This is history.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite
people. You can select all of it, and there it's live on Facebook right now too. So we're live on Facebook.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Terry, I think you need to allow Terry. I think you need to allow her to say opposing remarks. Gail is on the line. I'm on the line, and the other person is on the line. We need to make opposing remarks.
Yes. Go right ahead.
Gail?
Yeah, Honorable Gail Bluer, they're asking for you at
don't put Gail in the mix. Y'all said.
No, I will say that it's such a big city, a big community, Harlem. Every bit of sharing of information is incredibly important, particularly at this time. I mean, we got the health risks, we got all the racial divide, we got, oh my God, the schools issue. We didn't get a chance to talk about that much, but you know, we should in the future. And of course, we have all of the environmental issues, the small business issues. So, Terry, I want to thank you because bringing these issues together is important.
Yes, thank you, and thank everyone. And
yeah, well, let me just say my closing remarks here. You know, I think we need to always remember, the young lady said it correctly. African American is an experience and a strength. Yes. We have experienced everything in the world and in our history, but we have the strength to overcome everything as well. And we should be called ourselves people of many cultures. That includes everybody in our sphere. And the parade will be shutting down with all the registrations and so forth. You all had an opportunity to send out some, footage to be a part of the parade this year. And I hope many people take a moment just to donate something to the parade. It's your parade. It's free to the community. We doesn't charge people to be a part of it, and we doesn't pay people to be a part of it. And that's been our motto for many years. So thank you all for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful conversation.
Okay, thank you. Chaplain, Sister, anybody else that would like to just say something very briefly, because we're almost out of time. I think all has been said, and so now it's about what we have to do. And this is Terry Wisdom, it's Harlem Network News, and this is going to be up on Facebook for a while, so you can definitely see it and listen and do everything that has to happen. Okay. Yes. Yes, and we have had listeners from all over the world. This has been a resounding response. Thousands of people, so it's a blessing, and just keep sharing and keep making it happen. Terry Wisdom, Harlem Network News. Thank you very much. Let's get this job done. We got this. Thank you. Have a great day. Yes.
Thank you, Terry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Okay.